think this thing is on. Yeah, I think we're good. We're good? We're good? Hey everybody, welcome to Debo's State of Ragnarok Transcendence number 6. Hope you guys have been doing well since last week. And no one's been driving you guys crazy. Hope you guys have been staying aside and listening to all your government advisors, doctors, health physicians, and washing your hands and sanitizing yourself and stuff like that. Just stay inside, man. I work in a situation where I have to be around customers that come into the store that don't need things and buying non-essential stuff, and don't do that, man. You put your people you love at risk, and it's just gonna make things worse. Even if you're in a certain state where even if you don't have like a lot of COVID-19 cases as California, Louisiana, or New York. But anyways, man, that's all I wanted to say. Just a little public service announcement. Protect yourself. A lot of talk about today, other than last week. Fever Fields and WoW officially dropped. Economy is booming a little bit better due to the new items that are from the Fever Fields. Items on cash up items on the bubblegum and the manuals are going up. They're about at 177k per last time I checked, dropping down towards 160, which is not too bad. I guess the main thing we want to go ahead and get involved in is just the economy right now. Actually, on the economy, it's looking pretty good right now. There is a lot of people down in Orc Dungeon. There's a lot of people for the Fever Fields, and they're trying to sell chainmails, 3-slotted chains, and axes that have 3 enchants on them, which is very nice. If anybody finds an axe with high HP roll, which I don't know if it's possible because it's a tier 1 weapon, vitality and stuff, let me know. Holla at your boy because I'm looking for one. But for the most part, the one nice thing I've noticed from the Fever Fields is that the chainmails or the stats on them are actually very significant because it actually allows you to get another form of neutral damage reduction, which is huge for WoW coming up because we are demi-human / neutral element. So don't expect. I think when more chainmails with neutral reduction in neutral come out, I think in all honesty the prices will drop. Right now they're pretty ridiculous. So anyway, Fever Fields. Only Orc Dungeon, Orc Dungeon 1 and Orc Dungeon 2. Every 10 monsters you kill, you get a certain empowered monster. I think every time you kill 10 monsters, like you guys see on the screen right now with that Orc lady with the aura, I do believe every 10 of those you kill, then you get a champion monster. And all those have the chance to drop certain weapons and armor and stuff like that that have additional stats on them. It's a pretty straightforward, simple system. People kill on the map, the monsters spawn randomly, you kill the monster. You just keep doing that infinitely until, you get all the drops that you want, or until your face is just basically bored out of its mind or whatever. But the couple things I will list disappointingly about this Fever Fields is, one, they should have released more Fever Fields, and they should have multiple clone maps of this Fever Field. Maybe 10 maps, maybe 15. That would be appropriate. And I know you're saying, like, Debo, 10 to 15 clone maps? Yes, because 1 to 2 or even 3 won't do it. Overcrowding in these dungeons are a real big problem. Orc Dungeon 2 is not as bad as Orc Dungeon 1. Orc Dungeon 1 is horrendous. But in general, like I said, the drops are very exciting, and that's pretty cool. Some new stuff that is dropping. But I really just am not enjoying the fact that they just basically got all these players crammed on a low-level dungeon, killing all these monsters, and they didn't actually have multiple different Fever maps available. Because, would it be so hard to have Fever Fields for Orc Dungeon and then have a Fever Field for something else, like one for Chivalry? Then we put a Fever Field for maybe Turtle Island to get people to visit there. That would be pretty cool. And then another Fever Field somewhere else, and then put multiple channels for everybody. Just a suggestion, but they're gonna have to work on it because the number one problem about the number 2 problem with Fever Field is this: rogues. Snatching people's creatures away, and then also people attacking them and stuff like that. So the way it kind of works with the way it works currently is that MVPs are like the only monster that is free for all, meaning that anybody can attack them, and every other boss is basically first come first serve. So if I see an elusive skeleton or something like that, or an empowered skeleton like you see me kill on the screen there, if I hit that monster first, and I'm there first, I have priority. Now, if that monster is a MVP, I don't. So all these monsters you see me hitting on the screen, I have priority on them. However, since the crowding and because people or players are horrendous assholes, I mean, they're vile creatures. Like, this is the kind of shit I really hate. Excuse my language. Fuck it. I'll be killing a monster ahead of somebody else, getting it to half, and then a rogue will come up and snatch my monster away, kill it, and then take whatever drops that come from it. So one thing they need to do, because I don't even think, just to be safe, in honesty, they should just get rid of the rogue snatch skill and disable it on fever maps, because it's a very, very toxic ability and it ruins it for everybody. Because I could be legitimately killing a certain type of elusive monster or something like that. A rogue can wait for it to get half, snatch it away, finish it off. It's on another part of the map where I don't know about. He gets the drop. Even though he can't pick it up right away, he'll wait and he'll pick it up. That rogue, the snatch skill, it has to be moved. It has to be disabled on this map. Because you can't trust people, because people are pieces of shit and they're vile creatures. If you guys don't believe it, look at what people are doing now with the whole pandemic thing going on. The worst in people come out for greed, because people are greedy and that's what they want to do. And you know what, to be fair, in part it's because they didn't release multiple clone versions of this map so people can go farm in peace, and also there's not multiple fever fields. Now when they have multiple fever fields and multiple clone maps, maybe they can re-look into see if snatch is still a problem, but honestly that skill should be disabled on all fever maps. It has caused a huge problem, it's quite silly, and it's horrendous. But with that being said, overall, do I think it's really productive or fantastic to hunt a fever-filled map? I really don't think so. I think I'm better off hunting for Rager cards and other stuff that sell pretty well, hunting in areas like Pasanas or Undershirts and getting hard Zinni, overcharging it and building my money, and allowing the remainder of the player base hunt these items, get competitive on the market board, and then when people get mad because their shit's not selling, they're going to start dropping the prices, which means I can take all the money I've been saving up and purchase it. And the one good thing is, too, while everybody else here, it's a lot less busy in other places in the world of Ragnarok. Pasanas, Sea Otters, granted they have a lot of bots there, Evil Druids, all this stuff is getting pretty empty. And the beautiful thing about this, and why you guys might say, well, Debo, why are you going to let other people actually farm it for you? Don't you want to make that money? Look, the odds are for me to get a drop with people kill stealing, snatching these mobs, and doing all this shit is slim to none. But the great thing about this map for the Fever Field is it's not like an MVP, because not everybody can do the same MVP and have the resources to do it, but everybody can go down and kill Fever Field monsters. So with all these different player bases all hunting on these fever maps, no one can have a monopoly. So the beautiful thing is, when these players want to start getting paid and getting their money, they might have a high-end piece of gear, they're going to lower the prices and undercut each other until we get a stabilized market, which will be fantastic. And that's what we're basically looking for. And that's what eventually is going to happen. So for me, I'm farming in other places, selling, making my money, doing the best I can, and then when it comes to the point when I have enough money to buy what I want and I see the item that I want, I'll buy it out and get the item that I need. Am I going to try to get a +7 right away? Probably not, because that's too expensive on some of that stuff. I'll wait a little bit until I get a good amount of them, and then I might try to take one at +7, just, so it looks nice. But those are my thoughts on the fever fields. Number 1, more fever field map areas. 2, they need to add more clone versions of the map so multiple players can enjoy themselves. 3, figure out a way to deal with snatching and deal with people kill stealing. Something, you got to figure that out, because that's going to be a huge problem. Also, not all the drops are dropping correctly. Some people have gotten some coats from certain monsters, and the coats are not rolling with the 3 different stats. So that's something they do need to fix, because it does feel terrible when you get an armor and it's not the appropriate. It's not rolling with the 3 different stats that they're supposed to. Because if the coats were dropping and rolling with stats, coats and then also the chainmails, it would be competitive. They both have their stats, and they would all dramatically lower the prices down. So for right now, all you're getting is chainmails and coats that have no stats. The chainmails have stats, the coats don't have stats. So that's something else they're going to have to look into. Yeah, so I mean, it's cool, but they need way more maps. And they need to deal with the snatching, and they got to get on it and make sure all the proper items are actually dropping from these monsters. So, whoa! WoW was started on Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. That was like the first WoW, and they also released a whatchamacallit. They released like a little survey in the forums if you guys want to go out there and check it out, where people can vote on what times that they want. So it's looking like it's going to be 1 day a week. It's looking like you're going to have Castle Treasure for a week, and they said the treasure won't be starting until like another couple days from now. And the guild dungeons are nice because now we're going to get access to certain monsters that we didn't have before. That drops really high-end items that we're looking to get. Geffin's going to be a huge one because there's a nice spear that drops from one of the, I think it's called like, it's not a deviling. It's not a, God, I forgot what they call them. It's like, I think it's a mini demon, I think is what it's called. That drops a two-handed spear that has automatic pierce on it, which is very strong for an auto-attacking spear satyr. And it's good versus nearby human targets because it ignores their defense, which is fantastic. But I mean, it's funny because the spear auto attacks Pierce, and Pierce already ignores damage. But anyways, it's a really good weapon to have, and I look forward to getting it. And plus, it'd be good with brandish and maybe even bowling bash. But you know what? With the whole WoW situation, I don't know if the servers are going to be stable when things really kick up. It's going to be really interesting for the next week coming up because that's when I think WoW is going to get real serious. So we'll see how that goes. We'll kind of see what the meta is. I still think the meta is going to be whoever has the most knights and has the most monks. I think knights and monks are going to be very important for breaking. And then you don't need too many wizards because at the end of the day, you got if you got like 20 knights all bowling bashing the imp, people are going to die. They're going to run out of potions eventually, and that will be it. And there's like not really much you can do about that. But, like I said, we're just going to still have to wait and see what's going to happen and what's going to go on. Once the WoW system starts really get rolling, you'll see more guilds getting more in power because of loot and everything that drops from the treasure chest. We're still wondering if the treasure chests are going to drop with enchants on them because those treasure chests are encountered as monsters. So when you open them up, if you get a certain high-end level item, will it have enchants on it? We don't know yet. So that's just something we're just going to have to deal with as it comes. So right now, currently, we have the fever fields. They still need to fix them. I am very pleased that the items are making the market, but like I said, as time goes on, those prices will drop, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And I like how no one has a monopoly on a fever field. Maybe when fever fields get a lot more higher level and certain stuff, like if they do like a fever field for biolabs, or they do like a fever field for Keel or fever field for Abyss, then that might change a little bit. But for now, it's looking pretty good where everybody can farm it, everybody can post their stuff on the market, everybody can make some money, and the most important thing is then people who just want to simply let other people hunt it, while we hunt other things, we can go in there and buy the gear that we need. So, I think I would like to say that's pretty much about it, man. The fever fields, I just really despise the players that are like snatching all the monsters and just being complete douchebags. Like, the people's logic, I think, is this. Oh, I can just fly wing around, wait till an elusive or a special monster spawns and kills it, while everybody else is killing these monsters. And that just shows you the selfish nature of people. Because when you're just teleporting around and only focusing the special mob spawns, then everybody else is kind of be doing the same thing. And the way it's supposed to work is maybe people spread out across the map. You have a section, this other person has a section, and you just space it out. And if everybody's collectively killing, then that means those monsters are going to be spawning everywhere, which means that everybody's going to be getting a chance to kill some of the loosest monsters and special monsters, like how one just appeared on my screen that's right next to me. Now you see how this guy starts attacking it? See, this is all because the map's not big enough, and then plus people just like to be assholes because everybody else is being an asshole, and that's not the way it should work. And this is a good example, whereas people just work together, and we all separate it out, and we all killed monsters, we could spawn them at a good rate for everybody, and everybody's little quadrant will get monsters, and everybody can eat and everybody can do well. But unfortunately, we have a lot of selfish players with a selfish player base, and it just really shows you how the player base is. That's why I say, like, a lot of times I don't even blame gravity that much for what's going on. I always have said the reason why Ragnarok fails in certain places of the world is because the players are despicable. I don't think all players are despicable, but a large percentage of them are, between the cheating, between the botting, between all the other stupid shit the client edits that give them an advantage, and then also you just want to basically just teleport around and just, kill certain monsters. And see, this is what I was doing. I was like teleporting around, and I was looking like I just don't understand what people are up to. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? Now, you had some pretty good groups that were like in one area. But when I started to teleport around and look at everything, I was like, you know what? It's just better if I just stay in one area, I kill it, and then call it a day. And that's about it. You know? Orc Dungeon 2 seemed to be a lot better. A lot more stable because like the monsters are a lot higher and stuff like that. For some reason, a lot of people like to swarm over Orc Dungeon 1. I don't know why, maybe because it's smaller, but you know, like I said, just people are being pieces of shit. And the sooner people start calming down, the more effective and the more delightful the fever fields can be. Especially if also we had more fever fields as well. So, if anything, people are definitely playing because, you know, I don't know how long it's going to take before people get bored out their mind of fever fields, but I'll give it about 2 weeks before it really starts to lock in. WoW will keep people active just for WoW because people will just log in, play WoW, and log out. And another question is, what's going to be the next event? What's going to be the next fever field? What's going to be the next dungeon? We're still waiting on Abyss, and we got to see how that's going to go. So, you know, a lot of future things coming up. WoW's going to definitely change a lot of people. Certain guilds are going to get empowered, start making a lot of money. And the game is going to progress towards there. Progress from there. I will be uploading WoW videos and restreaming it live after WoW happens. I also will be uploading it to my YouTube channel and promoting it there too. I'll be a Saxator. The way I like to do WoW videos is I like to show the entire WoW. I know some people like to make highlights and just show fights, but I like to just show everything. So people can know, like, hey, look, I'm not editing out any fights to make us look better. This is how we had a good day, we had a good day, we had a bad day, had a bad day. So at the, you know, with everything that's going on, what's going on or what have you not, you guys are gonna still get the State of Ragnarok Transcendence video from me every Monday. I'm gonna try to keep doing that as long as there's worthwhile content to talk about. I'll post up my WoW videos on Saturday, and if you guys ever stop by on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we do our Debo's and Friend podcast. So I got a lot of content coming that way. I'll be doing some Resident Evil 3 this week, and I'll be making some guides for that too, so you guys can definitely check that out if you like watching somebody play Resident Evil 3. And outside of that, man, I think that's pretty much it. So we just gotta wait for more content, see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what they're gonna add to the item shop this Wednesday. I can't imagine what it would be. But outside of all that, please don't be an asshole in Fever Fields. Just try to be cool with everybody else, man. I know it gets frustrating. If you guys catch anybody that's snatching your targets, if you can get it on video, or if you can just maybe take a screenshot, I know it's not easy, then you know, you can report it to the rightful people. I know I stream a lot, so if I catch anybody, I'll just take a clip and send it directly to them. I mean, they accept clips too from Twitch. I've sent shit about people before, and they've accepted it, so. You know, outside of that, stay home with your families, be safe, practice social distancing. If you guys want to know when the next time I got a video uploading, make sure you hit that bell button, so notification, so you know when I upload the next video. And if you guys can, please give this video a like. But outside of that, man, I hope you guys have a good time with the new Fever Fields and WoW. Hopefully they get some new content coming up next week soon. And hopefully they drop that Abyss really soon as well, too, because I look forward to that. But outside of that, you guys have a good day. I'm Debo, and I'll see you guys next week.